Now, in the area of agriculture, Vice President Dr. Bawumia said 372 dams have been completed to support irrigation in Northeast, Upper East and Northern regions.
Then is implementing a holistic plan to provide farmers and households access to water for all year-round farming. Under the plan, we have three components. We have the One Village, One Dam, or the Small F Dam program. And yes, as you saw from the video, the small F dams, the small dams, are nowhere near Akosombo Dam in size and reach. But they are the practical response to the needs of the people and their realities on the ground. The documentary that was shown earlier shows the impact of these small F dams and the appreciation of the beneficiaries in all constituencies in the 5 northern regions where they have been completed, including, I must add, the district of Bole, where they are very happy about. We have awarded 560 of these contracts for these small F dams. To date, we have constructed 435 dams, 372 have been completed, and 63 are ongoing. And each dam is expected to provide water for up to 5 hectares of land. And completion of this project will deliver the largest stock of small F dams ever constructed in this country. The largest stock. And each small F dam contains 30,000 cubic meters of water when full, and this is enough to survive a greater part of the average dry season in any year.
Now, Albert Sori is our Upper East Regional Correspondent. And Albert, you have been checking on the dam projects. What specific project sites did you visit, and what did you find?
Yes, Daniel. So we've been checking some of the dams that have been recorded as completed dams in the tracker that was, put up yesterday when the Vice President had the town hall meeting. One of such dams is the Dachio Dam in the Bolgatanga East District. The other one is at Kajelo in the Kasana-Nankana West District. Now, these are 2 dams that we have visited in the past when we were reporting about the extent of work done on the One Village, One Dam projects. Now, even though these 2 dams have been recorded as completed dams, what we have been able to gather is that these dams have not been improved upon since the last time we visited. In January, we were at Kajelo, where the dam had dried up after the farmers used it for a while to do their dry season cultivation. Just in January, the dam had dried up and there was no water left in it for them to be able to use. Now, at Dachio, that dam was described as a football park by the chief because it was flat. And in fact, that dam has never been able to be used for dry season farming. So we checked again to see if maybe they try to improve on these dams, for which reason they may have recorded them as completed dams. What we have found is that these dams are still as they were, same size, no improvement has been done on them whatsoever. And so the challenge of the poor construction and the fact that these dams were not big enough to contain water to last farmers throughout the year, still that problem still exists. And so the people are surprised that they would see that they have completed these 2 dams. Now, sorry, in the Garut-Timpani district, there's a dam there called the Zansiribuluga Dam. That dam actually was singled out for, if you like, praise by the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana when they recently released their research findings, which indicated that 90% of dams under the One Village, One Dam initiative cannot be used for dry season farming. That particular dam in Timpani, called the Zansibuluga Dam, was used as a case study where they indicated that if the rest of the dams under 1B1G were constructed like that one, then we would be making a headway because that particular dam was good enough and that people had been able to use it for dry season farming. In November, for instance, when they visited, they realized that many farmers had cultivated onions that they had done from that particular dam. And that dam has been listed in the tracker that it is a completed dam. So for that one, I can speak to the fact that it is good enough. We are still checking on the rest of them.
Albert, let's focus on the two reports that you have presented, three in fact. One being completed, satisfying the people, the other two leaving much to be desired. What would you say is the difference? Do you see a difference in terms of construction, for instance?
Yes, the difference is in the construction. If you take in the Dachio one, for instance, what we found when we visited that dam was that the contractor virtually came to excavate the sand and then turn around to use the excavated sand to do something like an embankment for the dam, which the people had been complaining that the dam was shallow and that the water, in fact, somebody volunteered to walk across the entire dam to show us that it was not deep, you know, when we visited. So that is the situation with that particular dam. And so what they did in the dry season was to leave the water that was there for their animals to be drinking. They couldn't use it for gardening or farming, if you like. It is the same with the dam. That one is well constructed, but the size of it is so small that by January the water had run out.
Okay.
And they still had February, March, which are all dry season months that they could have been doing some farming with, but the water had run out. So the difference is in the construction. One thing I can say, Daniel, is that in Bongo district, there were two other dams that we visited when we were doing our reporting on 1V1D. And there was a dam at a community called Cabre. There was another one called Ayopia. The Ayopia Dam is actually the one that the president himself used as a sword cutting ceremony for 1V1D in 2018 when he launched that project. These dams are actually well constructed, except that they are also small. So if you compare them to the Dachio and Kajelo dams, those two dams in Bongo, in my opinion, based on what I saw when I visited, are better dams. But these two have not been listed in the tracker as completed dams. So,
interesting. So you have actually found projects that are not been listed in the tracker. But just to be clear, because we had a bit of a challenge with the connection there, you observe that the size,
exactly what
the size of the dams, Albert, is what makes the difference, because you compared a couple of the dams you mentioned that were so small that the water ran out and there were still a number of dry season months to go. Albert.
Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Albert. Sorry for joining us there. Apologies for the... Right. You wanted to add something, Albert?
Sorry, the network, the big challenging was that...
Right, it's becoming a bit difficult to hear, Albert. We'll try and reestablish the connection when it's better during the show.